Hello and welcome to Head and Shoulders, where we cover athletes' performances and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. So today we're going to cover Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce versus Elaine Thompson-Herah at the Jamaican trials. I believe they begin on the 24th of June. So they're coming up real quick. The USA trials begin on the 18th, which is today when I'm recording this video. So we're going to cover this very quickly as the lead up toward that. And I mean, they are passing out freaking 10 sevens left and right. And now I'm going to do on the next video who is the next to break 10-7 and to cover that, because this is starting to get crazy, whether it's an illegal win time or otherwise. I mean, we are getting here. And what this really highlights is, and I'm going to cover it more in depth on the next one, is that the athletes need to rest up more. But there are several things that are here. Number one, COVID-19 has been a blessing in disguise. So think of track and field, and this is the preamble. So if you want to skip this part, maybe I think 2 minutes ahead in the video, I'm going to give myself 2 minutes on this. And so think about it like this. You have it like let's say that this was more like a boxing, right? So we got the world rankings here. If you can easily see, like in tennis or something like that, or maybe boxing, where somebody's ranked. And so when Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce comes in, it's saying world #1 sprinter, world ranked #1 sprinter versus, bam, hype that stuff up. This is what we need. This is what I have this channel for, is to get name recognition. So when I talk about these athletes, I'm going to try to be posting pictures of them so we get name recognition. You all also spread this channel out. Tell people that may not even be interested in track and field. Maybe they're interested in gymnastics or something, right? We're going to be talking about Rojas and Ibargüen, the old guard Ibargüen, which is the defending Olympic champion in the triple jump, and then Rojas. Ibargüen may not be performing as well this year. And Rojas won the last 2 world championships. Both of them have been at the pinnacle of almost breaking the triple jump world record. This is stuff that needs to be talked about, and we can get that name recognition. But what if you could hear before the race, the lead up, the marketing to the race, just like on a Wimbledon or something like that, a championship, because they have their rankings and their majors and everything that they have on there. And World Athletics, formerly IAAF, they have their own ranking system, right? They have a scoring system. But what does that mean to the average everyday person? Maybe it's complicated. So let's simplify this. What if we maybe rank it on different scales? Consistency, the progression of times, where are you as far as the performance in that year? And it's a rolling scale, because what if a random kid, literally somebody that's in high school age, runs a 1098 early in the season, where other people haven't, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce hadn't run, or maybe a 1087. Let's just say somebody does that. Then they get ranked world #1. Now, we can't just do it based on time. We got to do consistency, the history of the athlete, how long they've been in there, the wins that they've had. That can add up, and it's a rolling 12-month schedule, so that a random person doesn't just get ranked up world #1. Now, that kid that ran that, let's say they ran a 1086 instead, so we can point out to this time. So let's just say a kid ran that this year. And I know this is Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce's time, but just bear with me. 1086. If they ran a 1086, they don't just get bumped up world #1 if that's the #1 time in the world. It's just more like, all right, they get bumped up 5 spots, or they get a ranking on the system just in general. If they get the best time in the world, maybe that bumps you up 2. If you get a world record, maybe it bumps you up, I don't know, 10 or something like that, depending on where you are. That's just a thought. What do you all think about that? And so before we get into today's topic, definitely like, comment whether you agree or disagree, especially on that part that I just highlighted there, because we can start getting this. We need this name recognition for these athletes, because name recognition equals money. I want to see these track and field athletes, more of them, get paid the big bucks. I think track and field can be more exciting. Several things change. That's why I'm wanting to push for a new track and field league. It'd be more competitive. Put USA track and field to compete with it, whatever other leagues. I'm American, so I'm just thinking the USA track and field. But let's just think about that for a second, or even change up how the marketing and everything is done. Let's talk about it. So today we're talking about Elaine Thompson, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, right? Elaine Thompson-Herah. But we're also going to mention Natasha Morrison. We're going to get a better picture than this one. That's like a mug shot. It's not doing it justice. We're going to talk about Brianna Williams. We're going to talk about Kimba Nelson. Let's bring up a picture of Kimba Nelson so we at least can see her face. I want to have this name recognition in here. Where is that? Bear with me just a second. I tried to do a new photo app. There we go. Boom. Right there for you. So here's Kimba Nelson. We're going to talk about her today. Running for University of Oregon. So let's minimize those. And then we're going to talk about Shericka Jackson. All right. And we're focusing on the 100. We're going to roughly mention the 200 maybe. I'm going to do a different video for that, but we're going to talk about the 100. So what do I think is going to happen at the Jamaican trials? All right. So I think Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce takes the win. I give her a 6 out of 10 chance of taking the win at the Jamaican trials. And at this point, I think it's a little bit more open at the Olympic Championships with a favorite on Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. She has done a win legal 10-6, whereas Blessing Okabare, has done a win assisted 10-6. All right. Now, I've seen some details go back and forth about whether the win reading was 2.7 or 1.7. As far as what I see on this list right here, the official listing right here, let's refresh it just in case it's changed. So we're going to do this live, reload. All right. So yeah, as far as I can tell, Blessing Okabare has not run a win legal. So that means she has the fastest wind illegal time there. So that puts her actually ahead of Elaine Thompson. And even with this win reading right here, it still looks like she would have broken 10-7. So it's unfortunate that it was just over there, just like Sturgis. But it looks like she would have broken 10-7, in my opinion, from looking at that and just looking at a race. You put them all in line. Oh, yeah, we're going to see that. But let's focus on the topic at hand. I see Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce winning 6 out of 10. Now, here's the thing right here. Here's the thing. Look at the results so far this year, keeping it on the 100. Let's compare this with the results this year for the 100 for Elaine Thompson. So, Thompson-Herah, I think that the dark horse here is what a coach said about getting her ready to run a 10-6. And we've seen so many of them. COVID-19, like I said, blessing in disguise. It showed that we need more rest for the athletes. And if it's more like boxing, or even like the marathon runners, the top marathon runners only run 2 marathons a year, maybe they won't run 1. And occasionally you get some of them to run 3. But because of the pounding that's on there, the world elite marathoners really don't run that many marathons in the year. And so if we start shifting out how track and field is, I am willing to bet we're going to get faster times. That's just, and this is evidence. Less races, faster times, more consistently. So what we're seeing here, that's why the 4 out of 10 I'm giving there, because I think it would be in her best interest to save that time or her best time for the Olympics. And that's where she'll bust out that 10-6 or whatever is going to happen, right? Versus right now. Now, she's still got to bust out as best time she can because she's got the young girls, the young women coming up after her. She's got Morrison, which isn't necessarily young as far as in track and field terms, right? But she's got Morrison right there. She got Brianna Williams. Now, in my opinion, look, this is going to be one hell of a drop, similar to a Sturgis, if she drops from her 1097, because this is just overblown, that's too much over to say, all right, we can get there. So this 1097 right here, to get down to a 10.7 something, because I don't think that Elaine Thompson is going to run slower than 1083. I don't think that. And so I got them as a 1 and 2. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say 1 and 2 right here. And then when it comes to the Olympics, it's more over. I still put Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce as a favorite and Elaine Thompson. If she shows something at the Jamaican trials, then I'll change that as a co-favorite, most likely. Because I mean, she is a defending Olympic champion. So there's a lot to be said about that. Now, when we come in here, we have Morrison. Who do I think is going to get the bronze? Who do I think is going to fight for the other spots? Because I think the two veterans, Fraser-Pryce, Thompson-Herah, they're going to take that. But is Kimba Nelson, are we going to see her take a spot? Are we going to see Brianna Williams, Shericka Jackson? Because if we look at the results here, with Jackson, she's going to have to run her butt off. But at the same time, I think Nelson is in some of the best spot to do this, because this time right here is barely over. It's barely over illegal. She finished 4th at the NCAAs. And in my opinion, it looked like, especially at the University of Oregon coaches, I'm sure they have enough wherewithal to say, hey, look, we have an athlete that's here trying to compete at her own Olympic trials in just a few weeks. They might have been training through, because I thought she would at least got top 3. I didn't see her or peg her for winning at all, but I did see that she would have gotten a top 3 spot, but then she got 4th. So it's going to be between Brianna Williams. I think the spot goes to Nelson as far as 3rd. As far as making the 4x1 team, Brianna Williams could surprise. She's coached by Otto Bolton. And that's the thing where I'm here. That's where I'm hesitant on. What do you guys think? What do you all think? I think that's enough, because I'll go on and ramble. So like, comment, subscribe. We're looking for 1,000 subscribers by the end of July, because we're going to have a whole bunch of live streams. But here's another note. We're going to have an interview with an athlete from the University of Kentucky, right? We have an athlete coming up. And I think you all will be pleased with that. That's going to be our first interview. She is not competing at the Olympic trials. She's a sophomore. Do any of you know who this athlete is? All right. I'm going to give a second. Do you know who this athlete is? I want to see if you can do it by recognition, because I think she has a very promising, and this is one of the athletes. I try to remain neutral, but I'm going to be a favorite, and you're going to hear that in the interview. Look, if I see her and she comes down in the final, she finished 4th indoor SEC championships in the 200. Now, if I see her down on the outdoor, and let's say I'm announcing that, right? Or I'm on here and I'm covering, I'm going to say, hey, look, they cheated. She should have won. They cheated. That's my favoritism right there. That's my favoritism. It's DeJour Miles from University of Kentucky. And so that's who I'm going to cover in this next interview. So that's either going to be posted today or tomorrow. If you guys want to try to get me to interview any other people, if you know some of these athletes, definitely start shooting me a message. And then we're going to start covering more and more athletes and interviews. But definitely DeJour Miles. So we're going to do that, and that's the end of this video. Definitely check out the next one, because we're going to do this. This is what the next video is. Where is that image here? Where is it at? Give me just a second. Boom. That's what we're covering on the very next video that we're going to go over right now. So Catch you all on the next one. Like, comment, subscribe.